Hi, and welcome to Terry's Talk. Today, I am joined by someone who truly is her brand, Philippa Comley, the force behind ComleyJones. If you worked in the D365 or ERP space, there's a good chance you've already crossed paths with her or someone she's placed. Philippa, welcome to Terry's
Thank you
Talks.
very much. Delighted to be here.
So, Comley
Yep.
Jones, tell me how it got started.
Launched January this year, following 13 years in agency recruitment, which was fantastic. Love my time there. But it was just my time. It was my time to do this for myself, to get out there, build my own brand, stand on my own 2 feet. And I think I want to do recruitment a bit differently. So here we are.
So, what made you leave the big agency world? I mean, more traditional models behind it, or what was kind of this
I
mindset?
think, as I said, I think recruitment needs to be done a little bit differently. I don't think it's transactional anymore. And I think it's very much a relationship business. And I want to take ownership of that, build that for myself, and I want to make a difference, especially in the D365 world where I know a lot of the contacts and a lot of the people very, very well. I think I can have a positive influence on recruitment. And I think recruitment is essential to any company's success and even existence, really. So I feel like I want to take ownership of it, do it my way, build those relationships and help.
That was inspirational. I mean, a lot of firms talk about culture fit or personal services. What does that actually mean in your day to day?
No, I think culture is the backbone of any business. And I think your culture is built on who you hire, who you fire, and who you promote. And I think I can help with that, certainly with that hiring bit, but I also have best practice because I see over a lot of businesses, a lot of organizations on an international scale, what's good, what's not, what works, what doesn't. And I can advise as well. So I think to build on that culture aspect, hiring is huge. Hiring the right people is huge. And that's where I can.
Well, I just think that's awesome. I mean, I know that you have one-on-one
Yeah.
services, no delegation, that you've built all of this real relationships. So there's no cold
No.
outreach. You're not making cold calls, doing it that old
Yeah.
fashioned
Yeah.
way. I mean, you have long-term trust with clients and candidates. And I find that absolutely, that's more Terry's touch. That's the
Okay.
way I believe things. It's all about the relationships. So you've been in the space for over 13
Yeah.
years.
Mhm.
What's changed?
Makes me feel old. Lots has changed. I think it's definitely the relationship. And I think the recruitment industry as a whole doesn't have a great reputation. You can't deny that. And I think I want to change that because it's so instrumental to any business's success. And I think that it's definitely the relationships. It's not transactional. It's not just sending out a CV. It's people to people. It's a people business. It's relationships through and through. And I think that's become clear. I think the market's tighter. It's tougher times. And I think we've got to do things a little bit differently. And in 13 years, that's definitely been, you see that case. You ride the wave. There's sort of peaks and troughs in any business. And recruitment kind of follows where the markets are going. And there's definitely business out there on an international scale, so in the UK and internationally. But it's different. It's quality over quantity, 100%, I think.
I've noticed that there are a lot of talent
Oh,
shortages. I
yep.
mean, I'm working in different programs and I specifically work with you on the executive
Yes.
levels. I mean, I'm working with BC Talent,
Yep.
today's Microsoft
Yep.
program. But I mean, there is a lot of talent shortages. And I think some of the trends that have changed is a lot of the candidates' expectations. Am I understanding that a little bit better?
Definitely. Definitely. And I think I think we've got to level up a little bit in terms of understanding where the market's at. So I think salary expectations that needs to be, we need to get a hold on that across the board. And I think there needs to be honesty and transparency from client to candidate. And that's where I would say that's my focus. So I think if something's not right with a candidate or a client's expectations, I would always say, because without that, without somebody calling that out, and you don't want to enable that because, without that, there's no sort of quality to the situation. And I think the honesty allows the candidates to be placed in the right opportunities without unrealistic expectations. And to be, for example, coming into the industry to expect to be completely remote, based remotely, sort of from the onset, that doesn't work. You don't learn skills from your kitchen table. You learn skills by being sat next to people. Like you do, Terri, you network, you are the queen of networking. So you know what it's about. Then you learn off other people who are great in their trade. And that's how I started. And that's how everyone has to expect to start, and you earn that right to have that flexibility and work from home. I think there's a little bit of a lack of willingness to do that.
Absolutely. So if someone's watching and wondering whether they should call
Yes,
you,
please do.
who do you help the best? I mean, project-based needs, strategic long-term hires. What is it that clients who want real partnership, not transactional volume? If somebody's watching.
Yeah. Okay. So I think definitely long-term partnerships is my thing. So I quite like to have a client. I understand their business, their culture, what might work, what doesn't work, what's a hard yes, what's a hard no. And then I recruit from there. And by building those long-standing partnerships, things come to you, or I might meet someone at a networking event and think, oh, this person would be great for Terri. Let me call Terri. I've met this person. I think they'd be brilliant. They might not have a requirement now, but they might in a year or 6 months or whatever. You have to be so ahead of the game in recruitment. And I think that's the thing. So that's where, because I'm speaking to people all day, literally all I do, which is good because I love talking. And
So talk to me about the process. I mean, when we're talking about the process and, when somebody's reaching out to you and they're saying, and I mean, of course, we're talking about partners, candidates as well, but mainly partners. When they're reaching out to you, what is the process like for them?
So from a client perspective, they reach out to me. I understand their business. So we do that either via a virtual face-to-face Teams call, or in some cases, that is a face-to-face meeting where possible, not always, because a lot of it's international. Understand the culture, understand the brief, understand the business through and through. Then I've obviously got my network of candidates I can draw on. We've got an outreach sort of strategy. I say we, it's me. So then I have to understand the brief first, and then I go to market and try and recruit from there. So that's the process. But it's all me. So it's very transparent, very trusted. Yeah.
The thing is that you've built something just really personal and unique, which I can appreciate because I'm in the same bucket. And so what keeps you inspired? I mean, I know the things that always keep me inspired, but what keeps you inspired?
I think it's the people. I think it's the community, and I think you probably say the same, Terri. We've got a very good community. The D365 community is great. We have a great time. I think it's the work that these people do. And that is my inspiration to be able to help with that. So, to be able to help clients do a better job for their clients and to help people secure a new job. So for a candidate perspective, I know in my time, I've helped them candidates secure brilliant jobs, and that changed their lives. And to be able to facilitate that or make introductions, facilitate conversations, that's my inspiration, I would say. Yeah. How about you, then?
Well, I think it's the same. And to be real, I think my relationships within the community and being able to connect people is really where my strengths are. And I mean, I'm able to kind of do the same thing you are. I'm not on a recruiting process from the perspective of putting somebody in the place. That's why I trust in and value your resources, because our collaboration works well with one another. But I just say I'm on the same page with that 100%. It's nothing but inspirational when you can build relationships, and then those relationships can come to you and they know, hey, we're looking to scale.
Yeah.
And here's where I would like. We just had a meeting last week with a very inspirational partner out of the United States. Yeah. Quite exciting. But these are the type of introductions I love, because I don't need to get involved in what it all is, but I know that particular partner had a need and you're able to help them with that need.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if someone is struggling to find the right person or just tried the usual recruitment experience, what would you want them to know?
I think I would want them to know that recruitment is a good thing. I think what I would really like to change in my time of running this myself is that recruitment's not, I think you say the word recruitment and people are terrified, or recruiter, and people are terrified. It's, if you find the right individual, the right professional to work with, it can be a really great experience, and we can open doors that you wouldn't necessarily be able to yourself because we have the access to the market. When you've been doing it like yourself, Terri, for such a long time, you know people and you come out with ideas, or you can facilitate conversations, introductions that could be really life-changing. And I think if you can find a recruiter to work with that you trust and is honest, and they might give you feedback that you don't really want to hear, but you might need to hear that feedback. But I think that's important. I think honesty needs to be brought into the equation. And I think, recruiters are good if you work with the right one.
Well, I appreciate you. I don't really call you a recruiter. I call you my secondhand person to help me really help with partners identifying new talent, or also, somebody who's been out there and is looking to, change, or they're doing, different projects. So I love the collaboration that we're working together. And I appreciate you for taking this time out today out of your schedule to meet me here on Terri's Talks. And if you want more information, go on to www.mtpconsultinggroup.com, and I have Philippa's page all there with ComleyJones. So it's all set up. We invite you to take a look at some of the wonderful talents and what ComleyJones is about, ready to embark. So we're looking forward to the rest of 2025 and 2026.
Very excited.
Thank you, Philippa.
Thank you, Terri. Thank you so much.